Welcome to this bite-sized video for the Digital Support Services T-Level, where we'll explore Task 1 for the Network Cabling and Digital Infrastructure Employer Set project. The Employer Set project consists of a series of tasks designed to assess the 5 assessment objectives shown. And this skills assessment is set and marked by NCFE, where students will need to apply the core knowledge and demonstrate the core skills from the specification. The Employer Set project, or ESP, is conducted during a 2-week assessment window, which will be available during the summer and autumn terms. The tasks are designed to replicate the real-life industry experience, and we've used employer and industry experts when developing the ESP to help achieve this. This video will focus on Task 1, where students will be troubleshooting a network-related fault, and this task will be assessing Assessment Objectives 2 and Assessment Objectives 3. As the provider, you will be given information about the assessment in advance for planning and preparation purposes. When you receive this will depend on which version of the ESP the students are sitting. The release of the provider guide for the Digital Support ESP will give providers approximately 2 weeks for preparations. And please do refer to our key date schedule for the exact dates. This early release is to facilitate the required setting up and configuration of the faults on the physical or virtual machines. For the Network Cabling and Digital Infrastructure ESP, which we're discussing in this video, this will be 3 working days before the assessment window begins. This is released later than the Digital Support ESP, as there's no configurations needed to perform Task 1, and instead, students are supplied with documents to review and analyse. As you might expect, Task 1 occurs during the first assessment week, and this is on a fixed date and time as stipulated by NCFE, which can be found in our key date schedule. This session is supervised rather than invigilated, lasting 2.5 hours. And if students have any access arrangements or reasonable adjustments, such as additional time for assessments, then you should apply that internally and increase the task time by the relevant amount. The assessment materials should only be available to students during the scheduled supervised session, so do take account of this and ensure you have secure storage areas for students' work. And internet access is permitted to allow students to research and identify solutions to the problem. You must ensure that privacy mode has been disabled, with policies applied to prevent students from deleting their browsing history. You must also ensure that access to online cloud storage services and/or online chat clients is not accessible, as outlined in the provider guide. In this task, students will be presented with a scenario and documents related to a network fault or issue. And there are 22 marks in total available for this task. And students will need to apply troubleshooting frameworks to identify and resolve the root cause of the network issues. And NCFE will supply network-related documents for students to analyse and make recommendations on how to address the issue, with their rationale given and documents updated if required. With support and evidence for this task, including a help guide for resolving the network issue and a test plan. 6 marks are assigned for the help guide aspect of this task, and shown on screen are the top band marking descriptors, with students gaining marks for having the correct solution to the fault with the required technical elements included. To help with this, students should ensure they've given clear and concise steps for how to resolve the issue, and the inclusion of screenshots will help to support this. And there will be more than one element to address, so it's important students consider a range of possibilities and areas that may need addressing, and the confirmation checks to be performed. And this is plural too, as there may be multiple areas to check to confirm the complete and full resolution of the issue, with all of this being relevant to the scenario and context presented in the brief and supplied documents. The use of writing frames can be a useful technique for preparing students, which can help them when considering the design and layout of their help guide and ensuring it's easy to follow with a logical order and flow to the document. And including a purpose for the help guide can also be useful, as it'll help students to focus on the fault and scenario presented in the brief. And then outline the procedure to address the issue, and using multiple procedure subheadings might be useful too, if there are multiple aspects to address, with the inclusion of screenshots to support the procedural steps. And it's good practice to highlight any specific areas on the screenshot that users would need to interact with. Confirmation, and including any actions that the user should carry out to ensure the fault has been fully resolved. The test plan aspect is worth 16 of the 22 marks available, with the highest marking band descriptors being shown on screen. And the design and structure of the test plan will be assessed, and it should have a clear and easy to read layout with a logical order and escalation in tests, with a wide range covered, and confirmation tests to ensure the issue has been resolved. Showing that understanding of the types of faults and applicable tests is also assessed. And this can be faults related to IP addressing, like duplication and exhaustion, for example, or DNS problems, or connecting to a network device, to name a few. The final aspect is regarding what the test should actually be checking for, and what the expected outcome should be, and how to deal with those unexpected results should they occur, while ensuring it's focused on the scenario and context given in the brief. Similar to the help guide, practicing with a writing frame can be useful, again for the design and layout and ensuring it's easy to follow, with the inclusion of a purpose again to help focus the response on the issue from the brief and the fault they're investigating, which can be further supported by including a root cause analysis approach. Even using the 5 whys can help ensure students choose suitable tests, and that is tests, plural, as it's important that a range is included and multiple different elements or aspects addressed. And when it comes to the test plan itself, on screen is a simple example produced using the Summer 2022 series. And students should include suitable headings on their plan, and there will be information in the brief as well to support with this. The order of the tests have got a good logical or perhaps hierarchical structure, with the expected results being clearly explained, with a range of tests for multiple aspects or elements included, and the confirmation test needed to ensure the issue has been fully resolved, which may extend to long-term solutions too, to completely resolve or even prevent this fault from reoccurring. To help prepare students for this task, and as clear communication is important, it could keep a glossary of key terms with a definition for a technical audience and another for a non-technical audience, perhaps with a suitable contextualized example to aid with communicating the concept. For troubleshooting practice, you could have students compete to create their own challenging fault for their peers to investigate, which can include additional practice with tools like Packet Tracer for creating network diagrams. And along with the sample and past ESP materials, there's also some adaptable resources within some of the occupational specialism materials too, such as the Digital Support Occupational Specialism Assignment 2, where students are presented with an IT help desk task and also need to write some user instructions. For the test plan, the exemplification materials for the Network Cabling Assignment 3 shows a pass and distinction example of a test plan, which could support students with understanding some of the test plan expectations. We hope you found this useful and have a better understanding of Task 1. And do see our other bite-sized videos that form part of this Employer Set project series. Thank you.